Cynicism.
Cynicism.
Love and optimism versus cynicism and sex.
Maybe my cynicism came with the realization that the responsibility of caring for our parents was mine alone.
Skepticism is often mistaken for cynicism.
That bitter cynicism of yours is something you've acquired since you left Radcliffe.
The old cynicism is gone.
犬儒主义
Cypress.
Cypress.
A cypress root is hard to cut, but it'll last forever.
It's like Cypress Hill concert in here.
We go out the front door, into Cypress Street.
You got virgin cypress?
You know the crossing at Cypress Forks near the log meeting house?
博
Cyst.
Cyst.
Or a cyst will form, and you'll live.
Probably just a complex cyst or angiomyopathy.
She had a cyst, a kind of a cyst, and it turned out to be malignant, and they're going to take her to a hospital in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Would anybody like to pay $1 to touch my cyst?
But I've read romances.
Puke his guts
in
out.
prose and verse in
on his ass.
different languages.
Crush you with his beer
so
belly.
I must be.
包囊
Czar.
Jar.
Crime busters, G-men, you're setting yourself up as a czar?
For you, Zartan. Let's make an exception.
I think we may have found our Mexican drug czar, General Salazar.
Our new drug czar, Robert Hudson Wakefield.
What are we, inviting the czar?
沙皇
Dagger.
Dagger.
And only the holder of the dagger is aware of what's happened.
Dagger 3 away.
I don't have the dagger.
Not a mouse, but a dagger.
The dagger?
匕首用剑刺
Daily.
Daily.
Every cup needs a coaster, every coaster needs a doily, every doily needs daily laundering.
Give us this day, our daily bread.
Studies have proven that daily exercise is the fastest route to weight loss.
We use these meetings to go over our daily goals.
With the bad press, the protesters, the Daily Intel says he's thinking of stepping down.
每日的日报
Dairy.
Dairy.
Dairy cream?
I know it may be a tad blasphemous, what with your dairy background.
Possibly know what you need or like, or if you have, say, eating disorders, or dairy or wheat intolerances, or if you are a glutton or a picker.
It refers to any manufacturers of dairy products.
She's allergic to dairy, and she doesn't like things that are green, but...
Jackie!
牛奶公司
Dam.
Dam.
Do you know that the dam helps make enough electricity to light up homes 300 miles away?
Well, is he wearing a dam skin?
President Hoover had the dam built around it.
So some contractor wants to build a dam and he makes a few payoffs.
When your appendix burst, it was like a dam giving way.
水坝控制
Damage.
Damage.
And that you might realize the scope of the damage that you've done, not just to me, but to a family.
Hope you did as much damage to his wardrobe.
Not to nurse you through the damage he did to you last time.
Which could kill them or give them brain damage.
You don't want to give up the top position, and he took so much damage that he let him up.
损害
Damp.
Damp.
I'm in a damp mop in bikini briefs.
It's common if you spend a lot of time in damp clothes, and it's
too damp out here.
Should Ronaldo Pazzi join Professor Soliato and the late curator of the Palazzo down in the dump?
Well, he ain't gonna exactly drown in a damp riverbed, no matter how soused he is.
潮湿的使潮湿
Dance.
Dance.
Anybody can dance.
I don't want you smelling like garbage for your slow dance with Jenny Gildenhorn.
It only happens when I dance with you.
Nice little dance.
No one lets you dance on the football field till dawn if you're dying.
跳舞
Danger.
Danger.
Am I in danger? Because you put a fucking life in danger.
Danger could be anywhere, gentlemen.
It's a good ride, but there's never any real danger. We are not in any danger.
危险
Dangerous.
Dangerous.
And now that the Special Army Commandos have arrived at the airport, the likelihood of a full-scale and deadly battle is dangerously close.
We're kind of dangerous, but very safe and wild, but tame.
I mean, I hope it isn't dangerous. Now remember, Ellie's dangerous. She's got to be as dangerous as anyone else in that fucking forest.
危险的
Dare.
Dare.
And don't you dare bring up Carlton or that brother from Star Trek.
Dare to dream, gentlemen.
Don't you dare stop. How dare you tell us to leave our best friend's house because you want to kiss Perry's ass?
Okay, I'm just.
Don't you dare answer that!
挑战感
Dark.
Dark.
Come on, V, you have to admit it's a little bit dark him having to go to Mum and Dad with the begging bowl.
I used to think it was AIDS, but it's just that I have a morbid fear of the dark and you turned my nightlight off.
It's so dark, Peter.
Right, except for the whole tall, dark, and handsome thing.
Something dark, you know, that's destroying him.
黑暗黑暗的
Darkness.
Darkness.
And the darkness has continued to spread.
From a realm of cold and darkness came the frost giants.
I'm not going to lead Allie down the path of darkness.
This is my 10,000th year as Prince of Darkness.
You dispel the darkness, Beatrice.
黑暗
Darkroom.
Darkroom.
Darkroom time is extracurricular. Hey, maybe in 20 years you can call old Mr. Turlington and you can say, thank you, sir, for that terrific darkroom chat we had that day.
I thought you were still dwelling about your friend's little tale of lust in the darkroom.
In the darkroom? You take him into the darkroom, you get fucked, and then we all move on.
暗房
Darling.
Darling.
How you doing, darling?
I knew you'd rescue me, darling.
It may not matter to you, Roman, but it certainly matters to us, doesn't it, darling?
It's all good, darling.
Kick my ass, darling.
亲爱的可爱的
Dart.
Dart.
And hats off to her. When Joanne tried that spinning back elbow, she didn't dart back into her. It's just a tranquilizer dart.
The killer was off camera with a poisoned dart, blew through the long tube, and voila.
What lies within that dart? Just begging to course its way through your veins.
When you blow through this whistle, a small poisonous dart flies out, neutralizing your target.
飞镖投射急走
Dash.
Dash.
Dash got sent to the office again.
What? He's been boosting cars since he was old enough to see over the dash.
Oh, for Christ's sake, I used a dash of salt.
Snowbell being faster than Dash?
Huh?
Still, I think it shows Dash.
冲撞猛冲泼溅
Data.
Data.
It was hours of recorded data.
Transfer all data to Crystal Point.
What is the quantum mechanical effect used to encode data on hard disk drive?
Turn your data coils off, but you leave your ONI on?
资料
Database.
Database.
Agent database?
Anything that requires a database.
I plugged it into a database.
That's when forensics will run your fingerprints through the national database.
You might want to look at this precedence from the Westlaw database.
数据库
Date.
Date.
As a matter of fact, I used to date this agent.
He says to me, Mom, I promise not to get one of my fevers or coughs during your date.
I give Bear second on the first date.
More likely it was the pledge I made not to date anyone until Elliot did.
Sherlock, any chance of an end date for this speech?
日期约会注明日期
Daughter.
Daughter.
And according to the kid who works there, this is a pretty good approximation of what your daughter will look like 18 years from now.
I'll never get away from house or my daughter if I stay here.
Is that why you attacked my daughter?
My husband believes that his daughter and I should be able to manage on the allowance he provides.
Will you please take Ava's statement and set up her daughter Marissa with some crayons?
女儿女儿的
Daunt.
Daunt.
Acquaint you with the perfect spy, the time, the moment, don't.
Are you telling me that you know nothing about the cars in the Daunt last night?
Daunt all your hopes. I'm black, so I'm meant to empathize with the Daunt boys.
Think you a little dim can daunt mine ears?
威吓
Dawn.
Dawn.
Dawn, will you shut up? If you want to pay every bill here and every bill coming and have enough to start a nice college fund for Dawn.
My name's Dawn, by the way.
Until the thought began to dawn on Susan that perhaps...
破晓
Day.
Day.
Day after day, they sat together in the shade, getting to know each other,
He told me an African folktale the other day.
I still miss you and Mother and think about you every day.
I've read this tale, there's wedding then betrayal. I know that come the day I want to run and hide.
It occurred to me after we talked that I'm the only one who has the list of associates that interviewed with Harvey that day.
天
Daylight. Daylight.
And earlier today, during a daylight liquor store robbery in Big Springs, the Gecko brothers killed another Texas Ranger, Earl McGraw.
Daylight, Marjorie.
I don't think that's daylight.
I'm getting out when I'm ready, and that's never in daylight.
We can't even see daylight.
白昼使沐浴于日光，享有日光。
Dazzle. Dazzle.
I grant you that. The razzle and the bloody dazzle. But I'm the goods in the back! I'm attempting to dazzle Dave.
The feathers for aerodynamics, the sparkly color to dazzle the enemy, the boots purely decorative.
Then they wipe it off again to show what happens when you use Dazzle then.
You give me to teach you a few kitchen tricks to dazzle the boss, and then you blow past me.
眼花耀眼，
Dead. Dead.
I may be dead, but I'm still pretty.
It's all about casting off the empty shell of what's dead and embracing the mysteries of what is yet to come.
Ooh, how long have you been dead, Body?
They say that about all the dead white girls.
死的，死者，完全的。
Deadline. Deadline.
Deadline doesn't explain why. When I calmly suggested that you should return to bed, you said with the most disgusting leer that it was an immoral suggestion.
Knife Head 4 was in a similar situation, but we met the deadline.
The project deadline is in 12 days.
Yeah, I got a deadline too.
You can't afford to miss another deadline.
最后期限，
Deadly. Deadly.
Deadening. Deadly. Deaf. Deafen. Deal. Dean.
Deadly by surprise. The berries of the coral bush are beautiful, but Tuma Wyatt made them deadly to eat.
What I can do in my brain, it's every bit as deadly as Bill's fang.
致命的，非常。
Deaf. Deaf.
As you know, everybody here shares in the belief that being deaf is not a handicap, not something to fix.
Deaf clapping? Dude, I'm not deaf, I'm just blind, so I can hear when you make fun of my disability, and I don't love it.
I don't want Quinn turning into some little slut like that deaf girl down on Dewey Street who gave fellatio to Dennis Kling.
She thinks you're deaf.
聋的，
Deal. Deal.
No, I heard you might be making a deal. So it's just not a big deal.
There's a great deal of money to be made, and my thought was, anyone in on the ground floor stands to profit hugely, assuming our predictions are correct.
What's the big deal?
You told me you were going to Baton Rouge to close a deal.
交易、处理、分配。
Dealer. Dealer.
From what I can tell, they're friends with that drug dealer.
He is, among other things, Mrs. McCready, a drug dealer, yes.
Just like you knew it was right with the pharmacist who turned out to be a drug dealer.
Kittredge assumes I'm the mole they've been tracing, and I've been in the employ of an arms dealer.
Who's the story about your boyfriend, the meth dealer?
经销商，
Dean. Dean.
Cause see, Dean, he likes you, sure, but not in the way you want.
I just wanted to say that I'm sorry about what happened with the Dean, and I'm glad that Mike took care of it.
I swear, sometimes Dean just gets me so angry.
Well, Dean, luckily I'm like a captive shrink with unlimited alcohol. You get out of here, Harry Dean.
院长，
Dear. Dear.
Be sure and use small words, dear.
Thanks, dear. What are you doing here so early?
Ladies, I need to borrow dear Lynn's for a second.
Oh dear, that's a shame.
What is your name, dear?
亲爱的人，亲爱的啊，
Dearth. Dearth.
But, Holly, there's always been a dearth of kind of serviceable, reliable leading men in movies because real superstars are few and far between. But
Death, disillusions of ancient amities.
In the verity of extolment, I take him to be a soul of great article, and his infusion of such dearth and rareness as to make true diction of him. His semblable is his mirror, and who else would trace him?
There's such a dearth of attractive young men.
You see, there's such a dearth of in-depth documentation into the psychological impact that these reunions have on...
缺乏
Death. Death.
Death and taxes are less of a sure thing.
It just postpones their death.
Marriage is death.
This is a death threat, Gemma.
You're compressing Rose to death.
死亡
Debate. Debate.
I had a little debate with my instructor on the issue of relativistic physics and how it pertains to subspace travel.
I will not get drawn into another financial debate with you, Dennis.
That, although the moral issues remain up for debate, the legalization of sex work would ultimately provide protection for sex workers and...
There was debate, but that's where we landed. Unfortunately, the captain of the university debate team had a scheduling conflict.
辩论争论
Debris. Debris.
At 2 o'clock, we have an appointment with none other than Roger Debris.
Damn, we got debris.
Or when a volcanic blast of debris that used to be your furniture and personal effects blows out of your floor-to-ceiling windows and sails flaming into the night.
Roger Debris.
The floor debris in the suite, the mother's room.
碎片
Debt. Debt.
And by the time that happens, he will have served his time and he will have paid his debt.
Just 2 months ago, we were up to our neck in debt.
We are getting out of tax debt.
Where he walked out on his 2 wives and a lot of bad debt.
You're referring to Kermit, but I'm ready to reconcile my debt.
债务
Decade. Decade.
Because you haven't been by in a decade?
Every decade, every goddamn century.
These qualities may be tested many more times in this decade.
Yeah, it would have been the ride of a decade, too.
You're never going to be successful if you only write 1 book a decade.
10年
Decapitate. Decapitate.
I mean, I agree, but aren't you supposed to be out, like, trying to decapitate someone with your lacrosse stick or something?
Now you're talking about having me help you decapitate some professor.
One man said he wanted to decapitate me, and nobody else thought that to be too bad of an idea.
Their aim is so murderously accurate, they can decapitate 3 men.
斩首
Decay. Decay.
Before it fell into decay.
I built the chamber to slow her decay, but her condition was progressive.
But while I talk of power, I'm unable to prevent the decay of my own body. The result is gradual muscle decay.
What we're trying to do is prevent endothelial growth, which, when overexpressed, can contribute to disease, decay.
衰退
Deceive. Deceive.
And Dionysus would often disguise into a woman to deceive his enemies.
But these senators scheme and squabble and flatter and deceive.
Don't let him deceive you! Don't let looks deceive you.
I did not deceive you, sir.
欺骗
Decent. Decent.
And a lot of the men in it are pretty decent guys.
Being locked up is really turning me into a decent criminal.
Jules could do some decent service.
Ladies, are we decent?
You said yourself you can't even get a decent cup of...
有分寸的
Deception. Deception.
I'm tired of all this deception.
Nothing but targeted deception.
The act of deception requires total concentration.
The woman is consummate in the art of deception. We deal in deception here.
欺骗
Decibel. Decibel.
Bring the decibel level down.
Individuals due to the high decibel level involved in playing rock and roll music.
The sound of the crowd cheering, the decibel level.
Well, I'm sorry to say you have had a significant drop in the high decibel range of your right ear.
Really? You'll need some release forms, the decibel level. What?
分贝
Decide. Decide.
Come to my office later and I'll decide whether or not you can take my class.
I'll decide what I want to do.
If you decide to drown those 2 puppies, I'll have the one with the pink nose. Other than that, I decide.
We're trying to decide something.
决定